Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all hear baby crying in the background, it's okay. It's just my little girl. She's 6 months old today. Y'all wish her a happy 6 months. She's not having it today. She don't want to take a nap. We're gonna power through this episode anyway, y'all. I got my updated SEC team rankings. I got my updated college football playoff top 12. Tomorrow, I'll give you my updated SEC quarterback rankings. We're also going to go over Tennessee versus Oklahoma by the numbers. Who do the numbers favor? We'll talk about it. Is Marcus Freeman a legitimate candidate for the LSU job? I'll give you my opinion on that. Also, Ed O, he just popped back up. Ed Orgeron. He wants back in at LSU. Is it his head coach? We'll talk about that. Before we get going, y'all subscribe to the channel. Y'all see what I'm fighting through to give y'all these episodes. I got a screaming baby, 6 months old. I work, I do all that. Subscribe to the channel and help a brother out if you like the content. Get in that comment section. Tell me what you think about these topics. Give me your opinion on them. Smash that like button. Share with your buddies. Let's get into it, y'all. We're going to start with the SEC team rankings. We're going to go over this week's rankings, and we're going to compare to last week's. So in my team rankings, y'all, we've got Kentucky at 16, Arkansas 15, South Carolina 14, Auburn 13, Mississippi State 12, Florida 11, LSU 10, Oklahoma 9, Texas 8, Mizzou 7, Tennessee 6, Vandy 5, Ole Miss 4, Georgia 3, Bama 2, Texas A&M 1. Kentucky at 16, I debated on them in Arkansas, y'all. They're both pretty much got the same record. Arkansas's had a lot of close losses. Kentucky's had some close losses. Mississippi State's had close losses. Auburn's had close losses. They've all. Mississippi State's heartbreaker last week, y'all, against Texas was rough. Y'all give me y'all's SEC power rankings in the comments. Tell me if you agree with mine. You think mine's fine. Don't forget you got Arkansas, Kentucky down there at the bottom. I like my ticker running, y'all. So let's see where teams moved, and then we'll talk about it. I'm going to pull the comparison up from last week to this week, and then we'll talk about why they moved, all that. Here's the comparison, y'all. I moved Texas A&M. Let's start with Texas A&M. I had Texas A&M at 3 last week. My dumbass picked LSU to beat them, so I thought they'd lose, so I had them kind of ranked. For that, well, they destroyed LSU at LSU, so they moved from 3 to 1. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I give Texas A&M the best team in the conference right now, even over Bama and Georgia. Kentucky dropped a spot. South Carolina moved up 2 spots. South Carolina did still lose. They handed Alabama that game on a silver platter, y'all. They had them beat. Same as Mississippi State. I moved Mississippi State up 1. Well, because of Mississippi State, it was because Auburn did not impress me against Arkansas. Yes, they got the win. You can make a case for Arkansas being bottom, Kentucky being bottom. One thing's for sure, Cutter Boley is a good quarterback. But will he be at Kentucky? Because word on the streets been, Mark Stoops will get fired if he does not get a bowl game this year. Who else was big movers? Oklahoma only dropped them one spot after losing to Ole Miss, y'all. They played competitive. Ole Miss really could have blew them out in that game, but Oklahoma fought back, even took the lead at one point. Then Ole Miss scored the last 9. I didn't punish Mizzou much for losing to Vandy either, y'all. One score game, your quarterback gets hurt at Vandy. I'm not going to punish you too much for that. So the top 5, the only thing that changed in the top 5, y'all, is Texas A&M jumped from 3 to 1. I had to move them up. You go into LSU at night, even with the shitty coach like Brian Kelly, and you beat them by 25 points or 24 points, whatever it was. I've got to move you to number 1. They're undefeated. Only team left undefeated in the conference. Vandy plays Texas this week, so Texas has a chance to rise or fall. I had to move Texas up 2 spots, as much as I hated to, because I had to drop LSU. I had to drop Oklahoma. So Texas was just the beneficiary of Oklahoma and LSU losing. That's all that was. Tennessee moved up 1 spot ahead of Mizzou. We beat Kentucky worse than about anybody has all year, honestly. Really, we did beat them worse than anybody has. They lost in overtime to Texas. Kentucky lost to Ole Miss by 7. I think they lost to South Carolina by 8. I think it's 28-20. So really, Tennessee went to Lexington and put a beat down on Kentucky like they've not took this year, besides against Georgia. I think we beat them by more than Georgia did. I think Georgia only beat them by 21. We beat them by 22. I will have my SEC quarterback rankings tomorrow, y'all. I want to put a little more thought into it and give y'all the best rankings I can give you. I was a little pressed on time today, so I got you what I got. Bear with me, y'all. So what do y'all think? Which rankings do y'all think look better? Last week's or this week's? And who do y'all think should be the last bottom team in the conference? Do you think it should be South Carolina, Kentucky, Arkansas, Auburn, or maybe even y'all think Florida? I thought it was going to be Mississippi State coming in this season after the way they played last year. So I give a tip of the cap to Jeff Levy for how he's turned that program around. Yes, they're 4-4. They're not no national title contender or nothing by any stretch, but they've been playing competitive ball. The only game they ain't been competitive in this year was Texas A&M. And they was competitive in that one for a half. Let's move to the college football playoff rankings, y'all. I already know some of y'all's going to have a problem with these. At number 12, we got Memphis. I hate to drop the South Florida out. South Florida blows a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter. Then has a chance to tie it, take it to overtime. Misses the 52-yard field goal. Martin Grammatica's son is South Florida's kicker, y'all. We're getting old. If you know who Martin Grammatica is, we're getting old. I moved Tennessee up to 11. We're 14 in the polls. I moved us up to 11. Our only losses are to my 3-2 teams, Bama and Georgia. And another thing y'all going to say, well, if you have Texas A&M number 1 in the conference, how do you have them number 5 in your college football playoff ranking? Good question. I'm projecting a little bit here. I think Texas A&M is going to slip up. So, therefore, maybe against Texas at the end of the year. I do think Texas A&M loses a game. I don't think Georgia loses another one. And I don't think Bama loses another one. Where I think Texas A&M drops one later in the year. That will, by default, drop them below Bama and Georgia. So, at the end of the day, I got Texas A&M at 5. If they keep winning in my college football playoff, top 12, they'll move up above Bama and Georgia. Some of these are projections. I just want to throw that out there. This is how I'd rank these teams right now. My power ranking is based off the whole season. And that's it. If it don't make sense, I apologize. But I got Tennessee at 11. Georgia Tech at 10. Georgia Tech's a 7 in the polls. Their strength of schedule is 70-something. Their FPI is 26. They're just very overrated because their schedule's so easy. Not necessarily their fault. All you can do is play the schedule that's in front of you, but I'm not going to reward you at the top 7 ranking when you ain't even beat a ranked team all season. Your best wins against Clemson, who has 4 losses. Number 8, I got Vandy. Speaks for itself. They just keep on winning. A lot of people's riding Pavia. Oh, Pavia's doing so great. Pavia's doing in SEC play. Pavia's got 4 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Kind of reminds me of Nico for Tennessee last year. In SEC play last year, Nico had 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions or something for Tennessee. And 3 of those touchdowns were against Vandy. So in the other 7 SEC games we played last year, Nico threw 3 touchdowns. And Pavia's got a website trying to hype himself up for Heisman and all that. He's put up really big numbers against bad competition, against good competition. He still played good ball, but not Heisman worthy. And he's still 4th in the Heisman. I'm getting sidetracked. I got Ole Miss at 7. Thought about putting them above Oregon. I just can't bring myself to do it. Ole Miss's losses to Georgia. Oregon's losses to Indiana. Both good losses. That could flip in the coming weeks according to how things go. Texas A&M at 5. Indiana at 4. Georgia at 3. Bama at 2. Ohio State at 1. Thought about moving Indiana up to 2. Just couldn't bring myself to do it, y'all. I'm a believer in Indiana now. But I'm more of a believer in Georgia and Bama. I think head-to-head, Georgia or Bama would take down Indiana. But I think it'd be a hell of a game. I've got a lot of respect for Cignetti and what he's done at Indiana. I think if he got to go to a school like Georgia, LSU, Florida, he would win big, y'all. He's already winning big at Indiana. Imagine what he could do at a program like Tennessee or Florida or LSU. He might be unstoppable at a team like that. Let's compare to last week, y'all. Last week, I had South Florida at 12. I dropped them out for Memphis. Miami at 11, so I moved Miami up 2 spots. Kept Georgia Tech at 10. They done nothing for me to move them above 10. Probably won't be able to move them up past 10 until the ACC title game. Move Vandy up 1 spot to 8. Drop Mizzou all the way out. Mizzou could still work their way back in. I think they still got to play Bama. It's probably their toughest game left. No, they haven't played Bama. Oklahoma, I think, is their toughest game. 7, I got Ole Miss. The top 7 didn't change. Even with Ole Miss beating Oklahoma, I kept them at 7. So the top 7's the same. The only person that dropped out was Missouri. I replaced Missouri with Tennessee. There's a list of teams that you could replace Missouri with in that. I picked Tennessee. You could say it's orange-colored glasses. I just think we're going to handle business this week. And some stuff could happen. I think Tennessee will be in the top 12 by next ranking on Sunday. College football playoff real poll comes out Tuesday night, next Tuesday. So I might have to move my college football rankings to Wednesday, and we can compare my rankings to the committee's rankings. Let's go over Tennessee versus Oklahoma by the numbers, y'all. On the left, you got Tennessee's offense. On the right, you got Oklahoma's offense. Make sure we ain't cutting nothing off down there. So Tennessee's total yards per game, 510.1. That's third in the country. Oklahoma averages 376.5. That's 78th in the country. Passing yards, we're at 321.4. That's third in the country. Oklahoma, 246.4. That's 55th in the country. Rushing yards, we're at 188.8. That's 33rd. Oklahoma's at 130. That's 99. Yes. Scoring, we're second in the country at 45.6. Oklahoma 73rd at 28.4. You've heard a lot about Oklahoma's offense this year. Them numbers don't match the hype that you've heard about it. Even when Mateer was healthy and they had him in the front running for the Heisman, y'all, they wasn't scoring a bunch of points. They scored 24 on Auburn. I think 24 on Michigan. I'm not sure they've got over 30 in an SEC game this year. Or even last year. I know up until the South Carolina game, they hadn't scored more than 2 offensive touchdowns against any SEC team. That's liable to change Saturday against their defense. I mean, let's be honest. That's liable to change against their defense Saturday. Let's get to the defense. We're giving up 401 yards per game. That's 102nd. They're giving up 240. That's 6th. Ole Miss put the yards on them. Oklahoma's stats are a little skewed, I think, because their competition they played before Ole Miss, Texas was the best offense they faced until they played Ole Miss. Their corners hadn't been tested until they played Ole Miss. They played Michigan, Texas. Texas hasn't been able to pass the ball this year. Michigan can't pass the ball. South Carolina can't pass the ball. Ole Miss exposed their secondary a little bit. I think Tennessee can do the same. I think they can do the same to ours as well. Injuries have killed our secondary. We could have had one of the best secondaries in the country. But injuries derailed that. We're giving up 266.9 passing yards a game. That's 124th in the country, y'all. So what happens when you lose an All-American projected first-round pick, All-SEC first team guy, potential another first-round pick? We could be without Colton Hood this week. Another potential first-round pick. Think of how deep this damn secondary would have been if injuries didn't happen. But that's football. Their secondary is giving up 155.4 pass yards a game. That's 10th in the country. Ole Miss threw for, I think, almost 300. So that number, like I said, is skewed. When the best quarterbacks you played is Arch Manning, Bryce Underwood, and Lenora Sellers this year, your pass defense is going to look a lot better than it's supposed to. I think back to last year, Tennessee, before we played Georgia. We hadn't played a top 50 or 60 passing attack. Then Georgia kind of exposed it a little bit. Not much, but they look better against us than anybody else had. Rushing yards, we give up 134 a game. That's 53rd. Oklahoma's giving up 84.9 per game. That's 6th. Scoring, we give up 30.9. That's 112th. Oklahoma gives up 12.5, and that's after giving up 36, 30-something, right around 35, 36 to Ole Miss. Like I said, I think their points per game is a little skewed because of the competition they played. Is their defense good? Absolutely. Can they get after the quarterback? Absolutely. Whose offensive line holds up better in this game? Tennessee's or theirs? I like the Vols' offensive line Oklahoma's not been able to run the ball. You see that. Tennessee can run the ball and can throw the ball. So that helps our offense against their defense. We can kind of sell out on the run, make Mateer show he's going to be able to hit throws Saturday. Because since he's come back from the thumb surgery, he's really not been hit. I do think Oklahoma will score points. I think Tennessee will too. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game than Vegas does. I would definitely take, if you bet, I don't bet on Tennessee, but if you bet, I would take the over in that. Got one more graphic to look at here. Tennessee ranks 25th in the country in third down percentage, 47%. Oklahoma is 117th in the FBS with a -6 turnover margin. Tennessee's +5. That's 22nd in the country. We give up touchdowns a lot when teams get in the red zone. Can Oklahoma get in the red zone? Oklahoma's red zone offense ranks first. Tennessee is 130th in the country in average time of possession. That's normal for us. Oklahoma's 68. We run an up-tempo offense. On the left, you got each team's leaders. As you see, Oklahoma's not really been able to run the ball. Mateer's played pretty good. He's missed one game, so his numbers are a little lower than they would be if he didn't miss that game. I like Aguilar more than Mateer in the passing game. Mateer can run the ball a little better than Aguilar with his legs. But I really like our offense against their defense, and I like our defense against their offense. Mateer's going to get his yards, y'all. I have no doubt about that. But I think we run the ball on them and throw the ball on them better. So I think Tennessee's offense has a better day against Oklahoma's defense than their offense has against their defense. What do y'all think will be the key factor in this game? I think it's going to be us making Mateer run for his life. And he has ran for his life all season long, y'all. We can't let him sit back there and pick our secondary apart. With the injuries we got to force them into quick decisions. That's the biggest thing for Tennessee in this game. We need the crowd to come, be loud. Had a guy in the comments say, on my last video, say, dark mode activated. Oh, how pathetic. You got to have a uniform to get you up for the game. It ain't about getting up for the game. It's just a uniform combination. It's not a gas station boner pill. It's just a combination. It's just an alternate uniform. Makes it a little fun. So I told him it's not a gas station boner pill. It ain't getting us up for it. It's just an alternate uniform. Said we should be a group of 5 teams since we need an alternate uniform to get up for a game. I guess 97% of the other Power 4 teams need to be group of 5 too. Because there's very few teams that don't have an alternate uniform. Bama, Penn State. Who else? Y'all give me your keys to the game in the comment section. Mine is our pass rush, getting to Mateer, making him run for his life. That'll be a big thing in this game. I think our defense held up well against Alabama last week. Not last week, the week before. Ty Simpson was supposed to torch us for 400 yards. He didn't. Carter Boley did better against our defense than Simpson did. Let's talk about Marcus Freeman real quick, y'all. Do y'all think he is a legitimate candidate for the LSU job? My camera keeps rising up on me, y'all. Give me just a second. I don't know why it's rising like that. Did I go too low? Marcus Freeman reportedly turned down interest from Florida and Penn State. Don't say nothing about LSU, though. Why would he leave a cupcake schedule at Notre Dame to go take a harder schedule for Florida or Penn State? saying makes the college football playoff every year because he has an easy schedule. There's some truth to that. But the rumors are he's very interested in the LSU job. How crazy would it be for LSU to fire one Notre Dame coach just to hire the other Notre Dame coach? Granted, this Notre Dame coach has done way better than the other Notre Dame coach. I'm having a bad time, y'all. The camera fell over on me. Y'all give me a second. It's been one of those days, y'all. I do think Marcus Freeman is interested in the LSU job. If they offer him enough money, I think he'll take it. Y'all dog me in the comment section for my camera falling. It's been one of those days, y'all. I barely was able to even come here and make y'all video. Do y'all think Marcus Freeman is a legitimate candidate for the LSU job? I personally do. I think there's a 50% chance he'll take it if he gets offered. What percentage do y'all put on it? Last but not least, y'all, before we go, Ed Orgeron wants back in LSU, even if it means returning to be an assistant for Lane Kiffin. Orgeron was an assistant for Kiffin when he was at Tennessee. He's an assistant for him at USC. Do you think Lane Kiffin will take the LSU job? I think he told the fans he's going to stay. That's before he knew LSU come open. I still think he stays at Ole Miss, but I think LSU makes it hard for him to say no, but I think he stays. Sorry this video went off the rails there, y'all. I've been trying to get y'all a video real quick. Would you like to see Ed Orgeron back at LSU as an assistant? Let me know in the comments section. I appreciate y'all tuning in. This video was a mess. It's getting dark on me. I didn't set my light up. I got to get in there and take over baby duty. I appreciate y'all tuning in. God bless you. And go Vols.